This is Steve Ridgel, and I thought this morning I'd just share a few helpful hints for continuing to sin. Now, you're going to think that's really weird for a Christian to want to give you helpful hints for sinning, but I'm going to tell you, my experience has been there are a lot of people that kind of want to be around Jesus, but they don't want to quit sinning. And especially if they have addictions or one certain sin, they just don't want to give up. So here are three ways to help you continue to sin. Number one, if you want to keep sinning, just hide it. Don't let anybody ever find out. Be sure if it's pornography, it's late at night. If it's a foul mouth, you try to do that somewhere where everybody else is foul mouth, then nobody knows you're a Christian. Just keep it hidden from the church. Of course, the only problem with keeping your sin hidden, you're like, yeah, I can keep sinning and nobody will know. Well, that's not really true because one problem is, number one, you know. So when you look in the mirror at night and you say, yeah, I'm a believer, but there's a sin, you're really, that kind of and that doesn't help. Of course, number two, God knows. And if you really want to claim to follow Jesus, but hold a little part of your life back, hold on to your sin and persist in that, well, someday you're going to have to be accountable to God for that. Now, I'm not saying you don't ever sin. But I'm saying when you hide that sin and you want to keep using that sin, you want to keep doing that sin, you don't repent, then that's an issue. But if you really want to do that, here's a second thing to do to help a helpful hint from continuing your sin. Have a lot of good excuses. Blame everybody else. Well, you can't really blame me if you knew the way I was raised. My parents did. The church I grew up in. My boss is. I was born this. God's really assured. All the same things Adam and Eve said. I blame her, Adam. I blame Eve. You gave her to me, so I blame you. Eve, I blame the serpent. We always have. Be sure there's somebody to blame, some excuse. And if you have enough excuses, enough people to blame, you can just keep doing your sin and say, not on me, not my fault, except, once again, deep down, you know that really excuses are just what they say they are. They're excuses. There may be reasons, I even buy that some of us struggle with certain things, but that doesn't excuse continuing to do them. But if you really want to keep your sin, either hide it really well or have a bunch of real good built-in excuses where you can blame everybody else and never have to take accountability. Well, except the day of judgment. I guess you'll have to kind of be accountable then. But till then, you can keep doing your sin. Just hide it and have those excuses. Or number three, if you really want to keep doing your sin but claim to follow Jesus, and then here's the third one. It's become really popular lately. Just change the definition. Well, I like to murder people. We'll just get up one day and say, hey, murder's not sin. Well, the Bible kind of, no, but the Bible doesn't always mean what it says. Or when they said murder in those days, they meant this kind of murder, not the kind of murder I do. So you got to be real careful. But that's one way to really just say, no, that's not sin. I'll redefine what marriage is. I'll redefine what life means. I'll redefine what it means to follow Jesus. I'll redefine the terms the Bible uses. God meant it then. He doesn't mean it now. I'll just redefine sin. And you know what's sad? You can even find a bunch of preachers and churches that will do that for you. Here's the only problem with that. When you get to heaven, you say, hey, God, don't hold my sin against me. And he's going to say, what about you persisted in this? You're going to say, oh, no, that wasn't sin, God, because I knew what you meant, and I interpreted, and God's going to say, but I said. All right, that's going to be a little awkward for all of us. So my real advice is repent from your sin. Work on it. Man, we all sin. But we work on it. We try to stop it. We try to do better. But if you really want to persist in it, then I'm going to tell you, learn to hide it, have a bunch of excuses for it, or redefine the terms. And unfortunately, none of those are really going to fit with what God asks. But if it makes you feel better and you're going to sin anyhow, good luck. Not God, good luck. So this is Steve Ridgel saying, I hope you choose not to sin.